Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. We are here today to do the beginner's guide for the Goku Black Ultimate deck. This is going to be the best deck you can build with just 2 copies of this starter deck. Now, I know I'm a little bit late on this, and I apologize for that. Normally, I wait till I have the cards in hand to actually do this video, but I don't have these cards IRL yet, so I figured I would just take the contents of the 2 Ultimate decks and put them into DBS Deck Planet, which is a great resource for building decks, looking at the card database, and just theory crafting in general. So it's definitely going to be a very different format compared to when I normally do the beginner's guides, but I think this is actually going to work out a little bit better. Let me know in the comments below if you like this format, and I'll just continue to do it this way instead of like always with the IRL cards. Let me know what you think. So yeah, we're gonna go through this in today's video. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you are looking to purchase the cards we talk about in today's video, or any cards for that matter, it does really help me out if you were to use my link in the description to TCG Player. I really do appreciate it, as always, guys. Now let's go ahead into the beginner's guide. Again, this is gonna be a very beginner friendly video. We're gonna explain a lot about how the game works. You should know how to play the game before getting into this video, but we're gonna get into real intricacies of card effects and synergy in this video. So let's start off with our leader. So we have the unawakened side where you start the game. Now we have auto, and one of your Zamasu or Goku Black battle card attacks, draw 1 card. This is a somewhat unfortunate effect. It's going to be very difficult to proc this effect going first, even if you go second where you are able to attack. Activate main once per turn if you have 2 or more energy, add 1 card from your life to your energy, and then you cannot place cards in your energy for the turn, and then at the end of the turn, place 1 of your energy in your drop. So you have that, kind of temporary ramping. We're accelerating our energy, and that's kind of the theme of this deck, is to cheat out big cards by using this ramp method. Awaken if your life is at 4 or less, or you have a blue Zamasu Z battle card with energy cost of 3 in play, draw 2 cards, then add cards from life to your hand so you have 6 life left. Then we have the awakened side of the leader. Auto once per turn, one of your Zamasu or Goku Black cards attacks, draw 1 card. Notice the difference here. This does not say battle card, so you will draw a card when you attack with your Goku Black leader. That's really good. Activate main once per turn, add 1 card from your life to your energy, and you can't place cards in your energy for the turn. Then at the end of the turn, place 1 of your energy in your drop. So again, with that sort of life ramping. Now, be very cautious about this, because that can get costly very quickly. You're taking your life, which is a precious resource. Once you get to 0 life in the game, you lose. You don't want to go kind of willy-nilly placing cards from your life to your energy, but our Z leader fixes that problem, which we'll check out in a second. One more thing I want to talk about with this leader before we go on to the Z deck is that what you want to try to do on the turn you aim to awaken is proc your unawakened auto, where a Goku Black or Zamasu battle card attacks and draw 1, and then awaken, and then use your leader's ability, probably by attacking with itself, to then get the next auto, which is one of your Zamasu or Goku Black cards attacks, draw 1. So basically, by doing that, by getting the auto to draw on both sides, you're maximizing your hand size, which is a very important thing to learn and understand in the Dragon Ball Super card game. So for example, you awaken with a Zamasu Z battle card in play. You can draw on your unawakened side when a Zamasu battle card attacks. So attack with that Z battle card, get that draw on your unawakened side, then awaken now that you meet the conditions, and then attack with your leader and draw another card. Hopefully that makes sense. But now let's take a look at our Z deck, because it is very vital to the strategy. We have our 1 Z leader, which is all we need, because some decks, they cycle through Z leaders and kind of lose them temporarily, but this deck, once you Z awaken, you're just good to go. So we have Goku Black Dark Purple Sickle. We have Z awaken for a blue. If your life's at 4 or less, it goes over a blue Goku Black leader. Auto, one of your Zamasu or Goku Black cards attacks, draw 1. So same thing as our awakened side of our leader, which is actually pretty cool too, because you can potentially get 3 draws. If you go from unawakened to Z awaken in the same turn, you can potentially proc all those autos to draw in the same turn. It's kind of tough to do, but it is possible. Activate main once per turn, add up to 1 Goku Black from your Z energy to your energy, and then you can't place cards in your energy for the turn. Then at the end of the turn, place 1 of your energy in your drop. So this is what I was talking about, where the Z leader fixes the issue of constantly taking your life and putting in your energy by putting your Z energy into your regular energy. So you're not, kind of critting yourself anymore and losing life that might cause you to lose the game. Active battle once per turn if your life's at 2 or less and you have a Goku Black in your Z energy. This card gets plus 5,000 power and double strike. Note that this effect can be used both offensively and defensively. So defensively, you pretty much have a free 5k combo every turn as long as you have a Goku Black in Z energy, which is definitely kind of good. All right, now we have our key Z battle cards for the deck. We will start with Zamasu serving Justice. We have a 3-drop 15k deflect, Z stack 1. So when you play this card, you're going to put a blue Goku Black with energy cost of 2 from your Z deck underneath this. Permanent, if your leader is a Goku Black, this card gains indestructible and blocker. And then auto, when one of your energy is placed in your drop by your leader's skill, switch this card to active mode at the end of the turn. So what's really nice is all you have to do is basically combo one card throughout the first 3 turns of the game, and then you just play this card and you're simply able to awaken, which is very, very nice. Now let's take a look at the Goku Black. We can Z stack. We have SS Rose Goku Black serving Justice, 2 cost 10k battle card permanent. If it's your opponent's turn and this card is under a blue Zamasu, the card on top of this card gets plus 15,000 power, making that a 30k indestructible blocker, which is really nice. Auto and card attacks, use up to 1 mono blue god with 5,000 combo power from your drop in a combo and negated skills for the turn. There are many effects like this nowadays in Dragon Ball Super, and the main purpose of that is to help you make Z energy. Activate main for a blue. If your leader is a Goku Black, play this card from under a Zamasu Z battle card. So if you want to start making Z energy, you can play this card from underneath the Zamasu and then start comboing things from your drop area. So overall, I mean, this is the Z deck that the deck comes with, so that's what we're playing. Let's set the full 7 cards. We'll talk about some additions to the Z deck you can make at the end of the video. Let's go into the main deck, though. We start off with our super combos. Now, if you guys do not know what a super combo is, the keyword super combo only means you can only play 4 copies of a card with super combo in your deck. Like, you cannot play any other cards in your deck that include super combo. That's because they are just so good. So most super combos, when used in a combo, draw a card or 2. This does that, but also adds up to 1 Breaking Taboo from deck to your hand if you choose to do so. Now, Breaking Taboo is part of one of our many win conditions in this deck. This card has a lot of text. So it's the counterplay limit 1. If your leader is a blue Goku Black and it's your opponent's turn, choose one of your Zamasu cards and switch it to active mode. Then add this card from your drop to your Z energy. That effect is okay. It can lead to some multi-blocks and Z energy generation, which is decent. But the real thing here is the activate main. So it's an activate main for 2 blue and 3 colorless. But note, you'll also have to pay the 1 energy that's already printed on the card. So total, that costs you 6 energy. If your leader is a Zamasu or Goku Black and you choose one of your mono blue Zamasu or Goku Black cards, energy cost of 5 or more, play 1 Infinite Force Fused Zamasu from your hand on top of the chosen card. Now, Infinite Force Fused Zamasu is a very old card with a very powerful effect. When this card attacks, choose 1 card from each your opponent's battle area, energy, life, and hand, then place them at the bottom of the deck in any order. So normally you could fuse into this card with Union Patara for 7 energy. Breaking a Taboo lets you cheat this out 1 turn earlier. Now note, you're ramping a temporary energy every single turn, so basically you're always going to be up 1 energy, which means this is theoretically doable on turn 5 when you have 6 energy. So on your 6 energy turn, you can use Breaking a Taboo, play this over one of your existing Goku Black or Zamasus, and then now your opponent's basically on a clock where every single turn this card attacks, they're going to lose a life and you know, the rest of the effect there as well. But the life's very important because once they go to 0 life, they lose the game. So again, one of our main win conditions, Breaking a Taboo is very searchable. Infinite Force Fused Zamasu only works for Breaking a Taboo. That's why we're playing a 2-2 split. Then we have 4 copies of Fused Zamasu, Power of the Gods is complete, and 4 copies of Fused Zamasu, Striving for Perfect Order. This is a very powerful combo as well. It ends up being very cheap and also leads to you drawing additional cards, which is very, very nice. Be careful though, if you play against a red deck, this is probably not the best combination of cards to invest your energy in, unfortunately, because red gets around indestructible very, very well. Indestructible, for those of you that don't know, the card cannot be removed from your battle area by your opponent's attacks or skills. However, if your opponent is playing red where they can minus the power of cards, when a card gets 0 power, it leaves the board due to game mechanics, and that circumvents indestructible. That's why red is so good against this deck. But yeah, keep that in mind. Luckily, red just took pretty serious hits on the recent ban list, so going into set 21, this should be a little bit safer of a deck to play. However, red is probably, unfortunately, always going to be one of your worst matchups. Now let's take a look at some of our 1-drops here. We have Gowasu, Easygoing Watcher, and Zuno, Convergence of Knowledge. These are what we call cantrips, just turn 1 plays that replace themselves. They find a card or draw a card. And these are important because you want to be able to make Z energy efficiently. You don't want to be comboing cards from hand to make Z energy if you don't have to. Instead, you want to play one of these, again, cantrips. They replace themselves. Now your hand is at the same size it was, and you can combo these cards off in order to make your Z energy for your future Z deck plays. Then we have 3 copies of SS Rose Goku Black, Shining Illusion. Just in the gate, I mean, we're playing blue. A lot of times in blue, you want to be very, very defensive. This ends up being a 1-cost negate when you have a Z leader. You can also pay an additional energy when it's played to draw another card and make a blocker token. So, you know, it kind of depends on the context of the situation if that's a good thing to do or not, but definitely a solid card for 1 energy. Then we have 3 copies of SS Rose Goku Black Close Combat. Again, another card that replaces itself, although you can't really play it on turn 1, but it is a 1-cost 20k crit at the best case scenario, so it's definitely a solid card. We have 2 copies of SS Rose Goku Black Justice of Destruction. I'll pull up the card here because it's pretty important to go over what a counter is. Counter is one of the only things in the game, the most prevalent thing in the game that not many decks and strategies have, that can actually stop negate attacks. This is very important because, you know, if you're trying to go for that final swing, you're going to want to use this counter for a total of 5 energy, which sounds like a lot, but trust me, to win the game, 5 energy is worth it. Stop your opponent's negate, go through with the attack, resolve the rest of this card's on play auto, but you can also play it for 2 energy if you meet the requirements, so it's a very, very flexible card in that sense. Then we have 3 copies of Goku Black Rose Lofty Aspirations. This card has the potential to nuke your opponent's energy, making this another win condition. This card won't win the game on the spot, much like Infinite Force Fusamasu will a lot of times, but it's still a great card to set your opponent back pretty severely. It's just really good in general. Then we have 3 copies of Fusamasu Advocate for Evil, 3 copies of Fusamasu Divine Immortal, and 2 copies of Tragedy Overground. This is another win condition we're able to play in this deck. Fusamasu Advocate for Evil is pretty cool. So you're able to fuse using battle cards in your energy. Now you might think for fusion, if you're a fan of the Dragon Ball Super anime, where is our like base form Zamasu in order to fuse, right? Well, the cool thing is you don't need a base form Zamasu to fuse into this Advocate for Evil. All you need is a card that includes Zamasu. And since you're fusing from your energy, if you happen to charge any of these Zamasus, Power of the Gods is complete, Striving for Perfect Order, even copies of the Divine Immortal, that can satisfy your Zamasu need for the fusion of this card, and then whatever Goku Black is either in your battle area or in your energy, you can use that to fuse as well. So you can play this for free, and then you can go into the Divine Immortal for 4 energy. It evolves over the previous Zamasu we just read, and then activate battle. You can go ahead and grab Tragedy Overground. Tragedy Overground is actually a very, very strong card, and in the meta versions of this Goku Black deck, you might find that a lot of people are trying to just cheat out Tragedy Overground as soon as possible. It basically prevents your opponent from playing most battle cards in their deck. Some strategies just cannot come back from what Tragedy Overground does, so it is going to be a pretty strong win condition in a lot of your matchups. Next up, we have 2 copies of Kale Rampaging Demon. Solid reprint in the structure deck. It is a massive board wipe, which we do kind of struggle with sometimes in this deck. Once you get 7 energy, Kale unlocks all of her full effects of wiping the board, ignoring barrier, and becoming a very large barrier dual attack double striker. So definitely want to have 2 copies of that. Then we have 3 copies of Chill Reinforcements and 4 copies of Dimension Magics, rounding out our negates. Again, we're blue. We want to be very, very defensive. Now, that is the main contents of the deck. Again, only created with 2 copies of the Ultimate deck. Now we'll go into a bunch of cards here that will allow you to upgrade the deck if you choose to invest and do so. So first thing is the Baby Hachiac Sand Destroyer Secret Rare. If you don't know what a Secret Rare is, these are cards with the ultimate keyword tag, and what the ultimate keyword tag means is you can only play 1 card with ultimate in your deck because they're just so powerful. So Baby Hachiac, what it does is it negates the attack, and then your opponent can no longer attack for the turn. The reason I'm recommending this is because it is a very powerful card. It's quite possibly the best SCR for this deck, actually, and the great news about that is it's a very budget-friendly SCR. Many SCRs can be $100 plus just for the 1 card because they're very, very rare, but Baby Hachiac has been reprinted several times, making it around like a $20 card. Definitely worth investing in if you want to play blue for a long time. If you're not sure you want to play blue, though, there is Heroine's Lineage. This is another very cheap SCR. It's playable in literally any deck. Ignore the first activate main. The important thing here is activate battle. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 7 or less and gain control of it. So it is great because it can be played in any deck. So if you choose to build multiple decks, you can bounce this SCR between them. But also, it's got a really strong surprise factor. So if you go to your locals with this deck and your opponent's not expecting Heroine's Lineage, it can very easily win you the game. Because if you steal a battle card during your opponent's turn and they're attacking with it, that battle immediately ends. They may have invested a ton of combo or maybe their entire hand into comboing on that attack, and then you just stop the battle outright and you win the game. So yeah, very powerful for the surprise factor and the fact that you can play it in just about any deck. Then we have SS Rose Goku Black, Mortals Be Gone, another Goku Black card, which synergizes very, very well with this deck. Basically, if you have 3 or more Z energy, you can play it during battle for 1, and then bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards that costs 4 or less, and draw a card. This is a very strong card in meta blue decks historically, and it's Goku Black, it's searchable, and it's very, very cheap, so it's a good thing to grab for this strategy. Then we have Goku Black, Countdown to Destruction. Very simple card. You can play it for free as long as you have 5 or more energy. It draws a card on play, and it can be used for your various Goku Black evolves and fusions. So very, very good card in my opinion. Then we have Android 17 Defending Friends. This is not going to be a very budget-friendly card, so definitely only pick this up if you really want to invest in blue as your main color for Dragon Ball. But it is what we call a Floodgate, which is a negate attack that is going to punish your opponent if they continue to attack you, which is very important when you're up against these aggro decks that are able to attack multiple times per turn. You definitely want to have this card, again, if you plan on taking this to like a higher level tournament, maybe like a regional or something. Very, very good card for blue. Then we have Majin Buu Assault of the Agents of Destruction. Very good unison for this deck. There's not many other unisons that you need to play in this deck, but it's worth playing the 1 copy of Buu because this card is limited to 1 on the Dragon Ball Super card game ban list, and your deck can cheat it out a turn earlier than other blue decks, so it is worth playing the 1 copy. Then we have some Z deck suggestions. We have Goku Stronger Together. Basically, if your opponent plays a deck that draws a lot of cards, you can play Goku Stronger Together from the Z deck and make them go back down to 10 cards in hand. Kind of helps you catch back up in games where your opponent is kind of getting too far ahead. And then we have SSB Vegito Godly Spirit. This is a 5-cost Z battle card. Very, very expensive, but we are playing a ramp deck. So anytime a deck can get to this card a lot quicker, it's oftentimes worth including in the Z deck. And these are my suggestions for if you want to go ahead and upgrade this. I do have a deck profile of my more quote-unquote meta version of Goku Black here on the channel. Go take a look at it in the deck profiles playlist. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you like this format. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.